Here's your money briefing for Monday, July 31st. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. Companies and governments are taking steps to ban discrimination based on a person's weight. Wall Street Journal reporter Ray Smith looked into this and joins me. So, Ray, what do we know about the potential financial impact of weight discrimination in the workplace?
Study after study shows heavier people are paid and promoted less than thinner colleagues. So you have overweight workers getting paid less to start. Then, if they're being passed over for promotions due to weight discrimination, that's affecting their earnings growth potential over time.
Now, in your reporting, you spoke with several people who have felt bias based on their weight. What do they tell you?
A couple of them told me they would experience things like comments being made, such as judgmental remarks about what they were eating for lunch, for example. They also talked about failing to win promotions they believed they were qualified for. And when they would ask for feedback, like from trusted colleagues or off the record, if you will, they would be told things like they didn't show up physically as a leader. Or in one case, someone told me that they told him, everybody knows you're a smart guy. Everybody knows you work hard. You just don't present well because of your size.
There are career ramifications here, but these comments are cruel. Is this something new, this weight bias in the workplace?
I'm glad you asked that because we saw a new study from an organization of human resource officials that looked at this idea of weight bias. And basically what they found in a survey of more than 1,000 human resource executives was a significant number said an applicant's weight had factored into hiring decisions. And half of those managers surveyed in a separate poll, they said they preferred interacting with healthy weight employees.
So they admitted that weight was a factor.
That's right. And we were surprised by that, but yes.
So what's been the experience of people who have faced weight bias as workers have been transitioning back to the office?
Some of the people I interviewed said they actually prefer remote work. One woman in particular who works in tech told me working remotely has been a relief because she doesn't have to worry about what to wear, things that will call attention to her weight, and she doesn't have to worry about how her physicality is being perceived. It's just not taking up as much brain space now that she's remote. And others have said something similar, that job opportunities opened up when she started interviewing for jobs remotely. She could angle her camera in ways that flattered or played down her weight.
Oh, so if her weight wasn't seen on the screen, she got better results.
That's how she perceived it. She really attributes what she experienced as because she was remote and people couldn't see her physically, and she can do things to camouflage her weight.
So given all this, let's talk about steps being taken toward a solution. In May, New York City amended the city's human rights law to ban employment discrimination on the basis of a person's height and weight. What are New York and other places doing?
Well, several states, including New Jersey and Massachusetts, they've introduced similar bills, as well as a few cities. And it's either, amendments or new legislation. And advocates are hoping because New York City, is such a big city, is such a big deal, that that'll influence other cities and states into action. Michigan is currently the only state to prohibit employment discrimination on the basis of weight.
Oh, there's only one state that officially does that.
Only one state, and we were surprised by that also. We just thought there was much more on this, but Michigan right now is the lone state.
So what are companies doing to address weight bias?
A few have formed what's known as employee resource groups or affinity groups. They're basically support groups, and they meet and discuss issues around obesity, and they're meant to signal to employees of size or potential candidates that, look, we have groups that care about this issue.
Companies routinely address other types of discrimination and harassment directly with employees. Often it's the topic of training. How often does weight discrimination come up?
Not often. Nearly 2/3 of employers haven't addressed weight-related stereotyping or bias with their employees. And that's according to that survey of human resource officials. So managers are really unprepared for the wave of lawsuits that could potentially come as a result of this legislation.
So what can somebody do if they feel they've been discriminated against based on their weight? What are their prospects if they were to take legal action?
They can sue and claim obesity as a disability, but weight discrimination cases rarely succeed. Most courts have held that obesity isn't a disability under the ADA. unless it is caused by an underlying health condition.
That's Wall Street Journal reporter Ray Smith. And that's your Money Briefing. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal.